Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today I'm talking with Alex Molyneux, who's the Managing Director and CEO of Galena Mining. Galena are developing the Abra silver lead project down in the Gascoyne region of Western Australia. Alex, great to see you here today, joining us from Taiwan. Let's start things off. Tell us a little bit about the Abra project there. You've done your bankable feasibility study. Can you tell us some of the sort of highlights of the project?
Yes, okay. Thanks, Leo. Thanks for having me. Abra, we've been moving very quickly with Abra because the company was only listed around 3 years ago, and we've been through the whole cycle. The DFS was put out in July of last year, and the DFS envisages a 1.2 million tonne a year mining rate. It's underground mining. Long hole open stoping is the main mining method, and that's mated to a conventional sulfide minerals flotation plant on the surface that will produce around about 125,000 tonnes a year of concentrate, and the concentrate will contain lead and silver. The lead contained in the concentrate, once you're at full running rate, will be about 95,000 tonnes a year. The silver will be about 805,000 ounces. The project has a project life of 16 years, and it's been, according to Wood Mackenzie, who are a well-known international expert in this area, it would be the lowest cost primary lead mine in the world. And so it has very strong economic returns. So that the pre-production capex was estimated at 170 million Australian dollars, and the resulting net present value that's being projected by the DFS was 553 million Australian dollars, and that has an internal rate of return of 39%. So that's a very high return project, and it's very conventional.
And how's your financing going of the project?
We have closed a number of sources of financing. So the main way we're financing the project is through two pieces. One is we have an agreement with Toho Zinc of Japan, which is Japan's largest lead and zinc smelting company. They are investing 90 million Australian dollars for a 40% stake in the joint venture company that owns the project. So far, Toho Zinc have put in 50 million of that $90 million. They have another 40 million to invest, and their remaining 40 million comes in alongside the project financing debt. The project financing debt, we announced a couple of weeks ago that we've completed a facility with Taurus Funds Management that's US dollars 110 million dollars of project financing debt. So where we sit today, that debt in Australian dollar terms is about 150 million Aussie dollars. We have around 40 million dollars cash in the bank, and we have another 40 million to come from Toho. So the 80 plus, so you got roughly 230 million Australian dollars of funding availability. We have already completed more than $20 million of the project works as well. So we're quite well funded when you consider the project capex plus any contingencies or cost overruns and things like that.
Absolutely. So you got plenty to build the mine and a little bit in the bank just in case anything goes wrong along the way.
Yes, yeah.
And also, I believe you're looking at some sort of resource extension at the Abra project. You've been doing some drilling recently. Tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Yes, so we're doing a drilling program at the moment. The idea of that program is that there was a condition, or there is a condition of the debt facility. The debt facility is broken into two tranches, and the second tranche of the debt remains conditional on us completing an infill drilling program. So the main purpose of the program was infill drilling. It's not resource extensional per se, but we did include some planned holes in the program to target some areas of the resource model that we felt had the potential to yield, with some more drilling, some thicker, higher grade zones. And we also have a little bit of drilling planned within the program to target a copper gold zone at depth as well. So now that drilling is going very, very well. Firstly, the infill as part of it is basically proceeding as planned. And I think in our last press release, we said that results of holes on average meet or exceed expectations. So that, I think, is positive from an infill perspective. Things are de-risking. But we also had tremendous and continue to have tremendous success on one of these metal-rich zones. So one of the first holes we hit was a hole number AB 147. It was the best hole ever drilled at Abra, and that hole was drilling one of these metal-rich zones. Originally, there was one hole planned in that area. We then added some more holes, and we reported a couple of those in the last announcement, and they had great, very much above typical thickness for Abra intersections as well. And so that zone, if you like, is expanding. And in the last drilling release, we said we're going to add even more holes in that area. And the resource shape of the indicated resource shape of Abra is like a U at the top. And this success, the western side of the U has quite a high drilling density on it already. This success is happening on the eastern side of the U. And all these extra holes have been added there. And now we're adding holes into the middle between the U's. So the whole program was originally intended to be about just over 15,000 meters. We're going to finish up here sometime before Christmas, and I think it will be 25,000 meters by the time we finish. And these extra meters are being added because of the excitement we have about what we're finding. And so I believe that this zone that's increasing, or that we're putting more holes into to increase its confidence, which is appearing to be thicker. It's also shallower than the mineralization was projected to be in there. And it's right next to where the decline is designed to come in. So it can easily be incorporated in the early years of the mine plan. So I think once we're done and dusted with this drilling program and a resource update, we're going to have a lot of opportunity to optimize the mine plan from the results that we're finding. So we're super excited about that.
Absolutely. When was the 147 hole announced?
It was announced in October, I think 19th of October.
Right.
And then I think it was early last week we announced some of the follow-up holes around that area. We haven't yet got assays for the holes that are moving into that middle of the U shape. But we'll continue to have assays coming in here between now and Christmas, and we'll probably have another couple of batches of drill results releases coming. We've also, got that potential right at the end of the program, in the copper gold as well.
So it's all sort of super recent news, and sort of very exciting development even after you've fully funded the development of the project.
Yeah, I think that's, so I think we're really happy we're into a virtuous cycle again. We lost time sort of with coronavirus. We were going to close the bank financing around March when the lead price sort of dropped with everything else at the time. The banks got nervous, and it delayed the next moves for us on the project. Now we're sort of back up and running in a virtuous cycle. So we're moving back into the construction phase, but we've also got this information coming through in a drilling sense that we can use to continue to update the mine plan for opportunities. If we can pull forward some more shallow mineralization, or some of this mineralization is going to be thicker or higher grade than what's currently in the model, these will add to early year cash flows and create value for investors. So we sort of feel like we're back in a virtuous cycle where we're moving back into construction. We've got optimization opportunities coming through. And so we're just finishing the year back on the road, and 2021's we couldn't be more positive about what to expect.
You've also there's some further exploration potential in the region. You have this G1A project.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so Abra is a joint venture with Toho Zinc of Japan, and then Galena owns 100% in its own right, 70 kilometers of strike length to the west. So there's a fault system that runs through this sedimentary sub-basin that's definitely the system that's controlling mineralization at Abra. And when you see these, sulfide mineralization of this nature, these tend to repeat themselves. And so, we've got that sort of the rest of the prospective strike of the fault system all tied up in contiguous license package. And, the geophysics is very important here because, for example, Abra doesn't outcrop, and it was discovered through geophysics. And so we have an extensive geophysical program. We also have the benefit of being able to calibrate our findings from Abra. The more you drill it, the more information you get. As we do these deep holes in the copper gold zone, that'll create more information for us as well. And then we can calibrate our thinking on the model and the genesis of that mineralizing event at Abra to help us hone our skills to find the next Abra. So there will be more drilling on the non-Abra assets, but it's also a combination of this geophysics activity. It's mostly gravity and electromagnetic work, but there's definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely because we haven't discovered it yet, but you would imagine that there are more Abras there, and we are lucky enough to have all of the best ground tied up, and we have unique knowledge, and we're just working through that. And as we get, we also want to be careful to not sort of diminish our human resources too much or distract them. So for us, our geological team is heavily focused on what it needs to do to help the guys get Abra into production. As Abra commissions, we can then increase our activity on the G1A tenements. So I think this is a great evolving story.
So what are your timelines for getting Abra into production?
So we're starting, having just tied up the debt piece of the financing. We're back in early construction mode, if you like. So there's some more civil work and some works happening on site, which are enablers for the main piece of construction happening. Early next year, we will move into the main phase of construction. What I mean by that is that's kicking off the procurement and construction phase on the plant, and then also mobilizing the underground mining contractor. Those are the two main initiatives, if you like, for the main construction project. Those will kick off early next year. On our current timeline, we will produce our first product within the 2022 calendar year. That's as far as we've left it for now. What we're telling people is when we announce the construction, the procurement construction phase of the plant, we'll give you a little more definition about exactly when in 2022. But I think at the moment we can comfortably say we'll produce in 2022.
And you mentioned before that the plant is fairly conventional system.
Yes, it's a relatively well. There's sort of no new or unique technology in the plant. No ore sorting, none of this kind of stuff. It's very conventional. Beneficiation, conventional flotation. The plant contract is a turnkey contract with GR Engineering, who have a very long history of building these plants for people, and they have a history of being quite reliable in their delivery in terms of timetable and on budget as well. So. And
you mentioned earlier the lead market, the lead price did fall with this sort of general economic downturn. How's it doing now? Has it recovered?
Yes, it's recovered all the way. So it's about where it was in January now. It's the lead price today is US cents, 92 cents a pound. It dropped below 70 cents a pound during that March sort of volatility. So it's fully recovered. We used 92 cents a pound for our definitive feasibility study. Mm-hmm. So, lead's back where it was when we published the DFS. At these lead prices, the project, as you can see in the DFS, is projected to make very, very strong margins.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, it looks like you've got a lot of work ahead of you in 2021, but exciting times for the company. So thank you very much for joining us today, Alex Molyneux.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thanks.